All right, curious viewers. Today we're going on a journey through time to uncover the secret of a genius whose invention changed the world beyond recognition. This man's name is James Watt, and his story is full of mysteries, unexpected twists, and a triumph hidden behind a veil of modesty.
Imagine Scotland in the 18th century. Cold stone castles, endless heather moors, and the smoking chimneys of the first factories. It was here, in the small town of Greenock, that a boy named James was born in 1736. From childhood, he was different from his peers. Instead of noisy games outside, James preferred to spend time in his father's workshop, a shipwright, where he eagerly studied the workings of machines and voraciously absorbed knowledge from books. But fate, it seemed, was in no hurry to favor the young genius. James was a sickly child, suffering from frequent headaches and poor health. Because of this, he rarely attended school, receiving his education at home, under the guidance of his mother. However, this did not prevent him from showing incredible curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. He independently studied mathematics, physics, Latin, and Greek. At 17, James goes to Glasgow to become a master craftsman of mathematical instruments. However, fate once again tests his strength. Soon after starting his apprenticeship, he falls ill and is forced to return home. But James doesn't give up. He continues to study on his own, tirelessly experimenting and improving his skills. In 1757, at the age of 21, James gets a job as a maker of instruments at the University of Glasgow. This becomes a turning point in his life. At the university, he meets outstanding scientists and engineers who appreciate his talent and knowledge. It was here, in the university workshop, that James was tasked with repairing a model of Newcomen's steam engine. This machine, invented several decades earlier, was used to pump water from mines but was extremely inefficient and consumed huge amounts of coal. James dives headfirst into studying the steam engine. He spends days and nights in the workshop, disassembling it, analyzing every node and mechanism. He tries to understand how it can be improved, made more efficient and economical, and then, one day, while walking in the park, an epiphany comes to James. He realizes that the main problem with Newcomen's steam engine is that the cylinder is constantly heated and cooled, leading to huge energy losses. And the solution turns out to be brilliantly simple. It is necessary to separate the condenser from the cylinder so that the cylinder always remains hot. This discovery became a real breakthrough. James immediately starts developing a new steam engine based on his brilliant idea. He faces many technical difficulties, but thanks to his perseverance and ingenuity, he manages to overcome them. In 1769, James Watt receives a patent for his improved steam engine. However, a patent alone is not enough to change the world. James needs a partner to help him establish production and promote his invention, and that partner becomes Matthew Boulton, a successful entrepreneur and owner of a large metallurgical factory in Birmingham. Boulton was impressed by Watt's invention and offered to join forces. Thus begins their fruitful collaboration, which led to the creation of one of the most successful engineering companies in history. Watt and Boulton's steam engines quickly gain popularity. They are installed in mines, factories, mills, driving machines, and mechanisms. Watt's steam engine becomes a symbol of the Industrial Revolution, which transforms Europe and the whole world. And this is where it gets interesting. The story of James Watt is not only the story of a brilliant inventor but also the story of a man who struggled with his weaknesses and self-doubt throughout his life. Despite his outstanding talent, James was a very modest and shy person. He did not like publicity and tried to avoid attention to his person. He often doubted his abilities and needed support and approval from his loved ones. Moreover, James was a perfectionist. He always strove for perfection and was dissatisfied with even the most insignificant flaws in his inventions. This led to the fact that he often delayed the development of new models, striving to bring them to perfection. And finally, most importantly, James Watt suffered from chronic depression. He often experienced feelings of sadness and hopelessness, which prevented him from working and enjoying life. For many years, James Watt hid his mental anguish from others. He feared that he would be considered weak and incompetent. But at the end of his life, he decided to tell his close friends about his problems. It was then that he realized that his weaknesses were not a reason for shame, but a part of his personality. He realized that it was thanks to his sensitivity and perfectionism that he was able to create such outstanding inventions. The story of James Watt is a story of the triumph of the human spirit over its weaknesses. This is the story of how even the most brilliant people can experience doubts and fears. But it is thanks to their perseverance and self-belief that they are able to change the world. James Watt lived a long and eventful life. He died at the age of 83, leaving behind a huge legacy. His name has forever entered the history of science and technology.
And in conclusion, friends, I want to ask you a question. What inspires you to create something new and great? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the story of James Watt. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss new interesting stories and discoveries. See you soon.